Hey there, what's going on, YouTube world? Been a week. Thought I'd post another video on a different topic, but one that coincides with narcissistic personality disorder. Um, this is pretty serious. I mean, it's not, people look at these videos, some of them laugh, and they're like, oh, you're on there talking about this, that, and the other, and you kind of put light to it. Um, I'm putting light into my situation because of how everything's transpired. It's kind of the way I deal with it, but it's by no means funny, especially since these people are so messed up. I mean, psychopaths, sociopaths, people with BPD, people with narcissistic personality disorder. Um, and this one is something that rides and toes the line right there with MPD because it's, these people commit suicide, they cut themselves. And, this is one of the disorders that can be treated if the person will go and have it treated. I read into this a lot after an individual that I was dating told me she had or was diagnosed with BPD. And I know I've touched a lot on narcissistic personality disorder, but I'm going to touch on BPD in this video just for a little bit. BPD, or borderline personality disorder, is referred to as emotionally unstable personality disorder. It's commonly characterized by the lack of ability to properly control emotions and emotional response. So if you see them going crazy, could be BPD. Sufferers of borderline personality disorder generally have very unstable relationships with others and an inconsistent self-image and very unstable moods, including radical mood swings. You'll see a lot of these people that are out posting selfies and posting as many photos as they can online, showing off everything just so they can get a little bit of attention. Pretty sad, pretty pathetic, but whatever. Creates with the sufferer the lack of ability to maintain relationships on a personal level, work, school, social settings, etc. It is also very common for these people to have more than one mental illness. And again, this is why I said it piggybacks with MPD. One of the traits, obviously, is narcissism, and they say that. So very frequently, this disorder appears alongside other mood, anxiety, and eating related disorders as well, which can complicate diagnosis in the field. Common symptoms of BPD disorder are described as the following, and again, this is by no means a complete list. It's just a few of the key traits. Extreme methods to avoid real or imagined abandonment. A pattern of unhealthy, unstable relationships on a personal and professional level, usually caused by extreme ups and downs in their attitude and the way they deal with things. Often cheating on their spouse with multiple partners or their boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever it may be. Very inconsistent self-image, cutting, suicidal tendencies, and chronic feelings of emptiness or loneliness, which I did see in a couple of my last relationships, which was sad. And we're not talking about loneliness like you break up and they're not there. We're talking about just have zero self-worth, which is why narcissistic people are so key, because they reach out to other people to fill this empty fucking void of black shit that's in their heart where nothing else exists. And again, that's only temporary because they just want to sleep with them or money if that's what they want. But a lot of it's generally sex related, which why they end up with diseases and spreading stuff and sick and ill or dead. A couple of areas where the person's very impulsive to these self-damaging degrees are drugs, spending, gambling, and sex. Imagine that. Inappropriately placed in very intense fits of anger, not always violent, but intense just the same. And you see this where they go out and, they try to spread rumors and lie and do all this stuff. And then when that doesn't work, they get pissed off. Versus being an adult, they act like a child. So temper tantrums are very common. Attempted and successful suicide can be frequent outcome for sufferers of borderline personality disorder that goes unintended. And I think that's probably the one trait that scared the hell out of me the most when I heard about this, because one of these individuals expressed thoughts and did some things along those lines that I worried about. And of course, you care about the person, you want them to get help. And I tried like hell to get them to go to help. She said she'd go to help, but of course when it came down to it, just more lies. Common emotional issues experienced by the sufferer include feelings of destructiveness or self-destructiveness. As MPD, that's what they're doing. They're slowly self-destructing as an individual. They're getting older, but self-destructiveness is just getting worse and worse. Feelings of victimization, lack of personal identity, or lack of understanding it, as well as simple feelings regardless of the, simple extreme feelings regardless of context of the feelings. Often recognizing themselves as a free spirit. That's funny because I had somebody that did that. These people also share with the world how they're falling apart, but they blame others for it. Then they bounce back, and then they go back into this downward spiral, and then they go back again, and that's that whole lifestyle. So it's pretty sad. Dealing with the person that has BPD, God, this was me. Many times you want to be a befriender. It's human to want to help, to listen, and to be a friend. And I tried this. And who wouldn't? I mean, if you care about somebody, again, who wouldn't do that? In the case of a borderline, it is often not helpful to the borderline to be caring, such as that, as the pain and misery they share will never end. It's a bottomless pit, and will only serve to further weigh on you as the borderline increasingly counts on you for that shoulder to cry on. It will come more often, and when you choose to pull away, it could react into extreme anger, even violence, and further influence their already suicidal tendencies or feelings of loneliness and emptiness. With narcissism, that's already there, so now you're just adding to it with BPD. Above all, you must protect yourself and any involved dependents from the situation. You must communicate this with the borderline as well. I've tried this, and again, when you piggyback it with MPD, they don't listen. They fake it, but they don't listen. Or they get extremely angry. So you have to figure out your limits, what you're willing to put up with from this borderline in a clearly stated tone. Obviously, as with any other personality disorder, you cannot ask that sufferer to change their feelings, but you can demand that they change their behavior. And I think that's kind of, if they had strict BPD, you would be able to work with them towards that because they can understand it. When you piggyback it again with narcissistic personality disorder, they can't. It's just not in their ability to do so. I'm not going to say ability because there are people that have been able to get past MPD and BPD, but generally speaking, I guess as bad as on the scale that I was in, it's more than likely not going to happen, and that's pretty sad. It can have a devastating impact on the people around them. If you're not already illegally involved with one, married or whatever, get the fuck away from these people. Get away. They are just, they're going to destroy their life, which in turn is going to destroy yours because you want to reach out, you want to hold them, you want to love them, you want to be there for them, you want to support them, which is what in any normal relationship, what you would do. But you do not want to get involved with somebody that has BPD and a narcissist. I tried, and I know for a fact there's not an individual on the face of this earth that was willing to care for, be there for, and support somebody like I was with her. And even the one that preceded her, she was the same way. She had narcissistic tendencies as well. And Captain Save a Hoe in the Flesh, right here, I guess, right? But I mean, I can look at it back and look at it now and laugh about it, but it's not funny because these people are hurting themselves, and you want nothing more than to help them. So yeah. Anyway, that's my short little video on BPD. It doesn't go into a full, full list of items. But if you want to ask any questions, please feel free. Please feel free to share and like as well. And if you have any requests for any other videos, feel free to add those as well in the comments. And I will talk to y'all later.